I'm Nick Snow, watching Government for Oil and Gas Journal in Washington, D.C. Not a whole lot changed for U.S. oil and gas in the 2014 elections, despite Republicans regaining majority control of the Senate and increasing their number of governorships. Industry and environmental leaders alike claimed victories from the results, but it will take months for the actual impacts to appear. Once Mitch McConnell, a Republican from Kentucky, succeeds Harry M. Reid, a Democrat from Nevada, as Senate Majority Leader in January, House-approved energy bills, which have been blocked the past few years, appear likelier to be considered. McConnell and U.S. House Speaker John A. Boehner, a Republican from Ohio, separately said this could include expedited approval of the proposed Keystone XL crude oil pipeline's cross-border permit. There would be enough senators supporting the project on both sides of the aisle that the Senate could pass such a bill in 2015. There wouldn't be enough to override U.S. President Barack Obama's veto if he exercised it. That looks likely now, but is not necessarily definite. Obama said on November 5th that he wants to let the U.S. Department of State review, quote, play out, end quote, and allow the Nebraska Supreme Court to reach a decision regarding the pipeline's route across the state. We'll consider any sort of proposals that are passed by Congress, including a rider like this that does seem to pretty directly contradict the position that's been adopted by this administration, White House Press Secretary Josh Earnest told reporters the next day. At that point, we'll be able to give you a more specific reaction to it. On November 18th, the Senate finally debated the bill authorizing Keystone XL's construction that John Hoeven, a Republican from North Dakota, and Energy and Natural Resources Committee Chairwoman Mary L. Landrieu, a Democrat from Louisiana, introduced in May. The measure fell one vote short of passage. Republicans immediately said it would be among the first orders of business once they assumed majority control in January. One prominent Keystone XL congressional supporter will be watching from the sidelines. U.S. Representative Lee Terry, a Republican from Nebraska, lost his re-election bid. He was an Energy and Commerce Committee member who wrote a House-approved bill to move the Keystone XL cross-border permit decision-making power from the White House. Hydraulic fracturing opponents claimed a victory in Denton, Texas, when voters there passed a referendum banning the process. While the ballot measure that passed in Denton is unfortunate, I expect that real facts and common sense will ultimately prevail, Texas Railroad Commission Chairwoman Christy Craddock said on November 5th. But a referendum promoted as a fracking ban that actually would have halted any well stimulation in California's Santa Barbara County failed there by a 62 to 37% vote. Pennsylvania's independent producers, meanwhile, watched as Democrat Tom Wolf, who called for a severance tax on unconventional natural gas development, unseated Republican Tom Corbett as governor. By all accounts, this proposition will be front and center in the discussion about state revenue needs, with the advent now of a new governor and the start of a new legislative session, Pennsylvania Independent Oil and Gas Association President Louis D. D'Amico said. That's Watching Government for this week. In Washington, I'm Nick Snow for Oil and Gas Journal.